Good enough. All right. Welcome to today's class. My name is Professor Dumbledore with a PH. D-O-R-P-H. Dumbledore. Don't forget the fuck. Dumbledore. That is my name, Professor Dumbledore. Today we will be discussing topic we will be discussing today. We'll be discussing what are we going to discuss today? What's today's topic? I didn't even take the tables in my way. What are we discussing today? We're discussing the idea of consciousness being beamed to the body. What does that mean? This is the body. This is your conscious actions. Conscious actions. It's any action that you consciously decide you will do. This is the body. The 3D. You smiling, sometimes you might not be smiling, you might be frowning, I don't know. But this is the body, 3D. This is the conscious, these are your conscious actions. These are your actions like, let's say, I'm going to decide to make a bowl of cereal. Cereal is a conscious action. Driving is a conscious action. I'm going to get behind the wheel. Conscious actions. Now, we are discussing the idea of a beam of consciousness. Consciousness, a beam into the person. And this beam, a beam of consciousness is being, beamed into the person. But this consciousness is coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. It's not just coming from nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to come from somewhere. This being has to come from somewhere. Because once you die, once you cease to exist, energy never dies. This energy that's going to stop coming from your avatar, this energy that's going to stop coming from here, it's got to go somewhere else. Or it might just come back here. You think after you die, it's going to go back to the box? That's a possibility. That death brings you back. So let's say death brings you back to, this. Let's just say. Let me make sure you guys can still see. I'm pretty sure you can, though. You barely can see that. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see. Hold on. Some autofocus. Hold on, man. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see. No, this is just stopping the entire process. Give me a second. All right. Might cut that out. All right, good enough. If it's blurry, hope not. But yeah. So, consciousness is beamed into the avatar. This is a 24/7. No. It's a beam when you're awake. You have to be awake for this beam. When you're asleep, where's your consciousness at? when you're asleep, where's this? Where's this going? Where's this beam going? Because you're asleep. So if you're asleep, it's not going here. It's not going to the avatar. The avatar is asleep. You know what I'm saying? He got covers on him and stuff. Like, he's in bed. He's on a pillow. He's asleep. So where's the consciousness going when you're asleep? Where is consciousness when sleep? Where is consciousness when sleep? That is a question that is yet to be answered. Where is consciousness when asleep? Because when you're awake, it's going to the 3D. When you're awake, your consciousness is going to the 3D. And these are your conscious actions, like eating cereal and driving. Your conscious actions, the decisions you make. But when you're asleep, or when you die, where does your consciousness go? Does it go right back to the... What is this? What is this? What is the X? We haven't even answered what this is. What is this? What is this? What is that? What is this that my consciousness beams from to this avatar? Well, what does X equal? Well, X equals conscious thought plus X equals conscious thought. X equals consciousness. Not necessarily conscious thought, but X equals consciousness. X is equals C. X equals C plus, well, we need to come up with a name for this. X equals consciousness beam to the avatar. So X is the consciousness plus the unknown. When we say it's plus unknown, X is the consciousness. Would it be X equals consciousness plus? Well, I guess we're gonna say it equals death as well. I guess X equals death as well because, you know, once we die, the consciousness has to go back somewhere. So I guess death is X. And once we sleep, we have to go back somewhere too. Once we sleep, we have to go somewhere. So do we go to X? Is that what that means? When we're conscious, you know, that's X. Consciousness is X beaming. Death is, I guess, we're returning back to X. And sleep, we have to go somewhere. Sleep, we're not conscious anymore. So I think that X encompasses sleep as well. So X is all of these things. Now, let's dive a little deeper. We want to subtract like terms. I don't really care for consciousness. I want to know what X is outside of consciousness. So we're going to subtract C. We're going to take C. I don't really care for consciousness, bro. You know, I don't really care for consciousness, bro. Like, I don't care for what happens when I'm awake. I'm here for the other stuff. So X minus C equals D plus X. X minus consciousness equals death and sleep. X minus consciousness. This minus consciousness equals death and sleep. So without consciousness, you're either dead or asleep. Without making conscious thoughts, you're either dead or asleep. Because X equals all three of these combined. What is X? What is X? What is X? What is X, bro? What is my consciousness beaming from? Where does it originate? Where does it originate? Where does consciousness originate from? Where is this? What is this X? And if my consciousness is beaming from somewhere, then that means, well, let's say you got me, Susan, Bob. You got three people, B, S, and me. Me, Susan, and Bob. Well, I have consciousness beaming towards me. Well, that means that Bob has to have some consciousness beaming towards him. And the same for Susan, right? You know what I'm saying? Does that mean that there have to be three forms of consciousness? And does all of these connect with X? Do all of them connect with X? I hope you can see. You should be able to see. Me, Susan, and Bob. Susan is a girl, so she has hair. Me, Susan, and Bob all have consciousness. We all make conscious thoughts. If we didn't, we'll be dead or asleep. But seeing as though we're conscious, does that mean we all come from this mass X right here? Is X the same for everybody? Is X always the same? Is X the same? Is X always the same? Does death always revert back to this one X? Or are there like variations of X? Does X have variations? Would the same X be for me, be the same X for Susan and Bob? So if that, let's explore that. Let's explore that. X is the same for all of us. So we have X in a box, and it's coming to me, Susan, and Bob. So if that's the case, this is all a shared consciousness. It's all a shared consciousness. If that's the case, if it all is coming from one source, it's all a shared consciousness. So if you have 3 billion people on one shared consciousness, one seat, you got 3 billion people on one consciousness. I think I'm gonna put SC because I want to make sure it's shared consciousness. You have 3 billion people on one shared consciousness. If that's the case, if X is the same for everybody and it's shared consciousness, you have 3 billion people on one SC. What is X? Is X the shared consciousness? Does X equals SC? Question mark. Does X equals XC? Does X equal the shared consciousness? So this is shared consciousness vibrating into my body, which is giving me consciousness. But once I die, do I go back to shared consciousness? Or once I sleep, am I going back into shared consciousness? Does X equals XC? If X equals XC, so now we go right here. Now we just do the math. SC, shared consciousness, equals consciousness plus death plus sleep. Shared consciousness is all of these. It encompasses all of these. If X did equal shared consciousness. If X did equal... And what is shared consciousness? Shared consciousness is a memory bank. It's basically like you got 3 banks all going to one big bank. That's what shared consciousness is. It's a memory bank. You got 3 banks going to Big B. And you put a little exclamation mark so you know it's Big B. You know you're not a little one. You know, you the Big B. 3 smaller banks going to Big B. This is shared consciousness, basically. They all share, they all share information. They all share information between each other. They just share everything. It's shared consciousness. Whatever this being is experiencing, so is this one. And that one is, vice versa. They're all experiencing the same thing. Oh my gosh, they're all a wave. They're all a wave. This is Bob. This is Susan. And this is Steve. Or this is me. They're all a wave on the same. They're all a wave. They're all a wave on the same helix. Individual. So that's basically what shared consciousness is. You made a helix of Bob, Susan, but then you take 3 billion. You take 3 billion and you make 3 billion waves. So my question was, does X have variations? Does X have variations? Does shared consciousness have variations? Does it have different frequencies or whatnot? Where does it originate from? I said, where does X originate from? No, I said, where does consciousness originate from? Then I said it originates from shared consciousness, which is the total, the whole of everything. Everything combined into one, which is basically a memory bank. And Big B is shared consciousness. What is X? X equals XC. Shared consciousness equals consciousness plus death plus sleep. CDX. And X minus consciousness equals death and sleep. So X minus C equals death and sleep. X minus C equals death and sleep. So shared consciousness, so SC minus C equals D, death and sleep. Shared consciousness minus consciousness. So shared consciousness means the Big Bang minus the Big B, B minus the consciousness. The Big Bang minus the consciousness in this scenario. In this scenario, the consciousness would be the same as in this scenario. The consciousness would be these lines right here that go to the avatar. So I guess In these lines, the consciousness would be these lines. This would be C. These would be C right here. These lines right here that connect the bank and the smaller banks. The sharing of information is the consciousness. The movement of information. Movement of info is the consciousness. That's the only way it would really work, really. That's the only way it would really work. Like these lines right here that connect that's the consciousness. You know what I'm saying? That's the big B giving them power, and that's them giving the big B information. Same right here. This is X giving out consciousness to me, Bobby and Sarah, and this is me, Bobby and Sarah, giving X information. Let X learn based off of what we're experiencing. Same right here. This is X giving consciousness to me, the 3D, and at the same time, I'm also giving X information based on what I'm seeing. Same right here. This is death. This is death takes you back to X. Death takes you back to shared consciousness. In that case, you're just going to be emoted back into another avatar. But XC minus shared consciousness minus consciousness equals death and sleep, which I don't think they're the same. Death and sleep are different, bro. Death and sleep are two totally different things. But shared consciousness minus consciousness equals no movement. It equals no movement. Equals shared consciousness minus consciousness, bro, equals nothing. Because you're Xing this whole thing out. You just, this minus this would just equal this. SC minus C shared consciousness minus C would just, it would just take me back to X. It would literally take me back to X, bro. Because shared consciousness is consciousness. How can shared consciousness is consciousness? It's like saying 45 is 5, 10, 15. I'm a little lost. Because X minus this would just mean no this. X minus this would still give X. Because X is there. X is there regardless. X divides itself into this. Oh my gosh, guys. X divides itself into consciousness. Wow. Shared consciousness divides itself into C. I don't know if that's the right formula, but it divides itself. It gives off pieces of itself. If shared consciousness is 100% of information, and it wants to divide itself between 3 individuals, them individuals would give 33% of the consciousness. Now we take that and we do it to 3 billion. How much is that? Let's just say 0.00000000000000 and so on. All of those, that is how much of shared consciousness we have. If we were, to do that. Shared consciousness divides itself. It doesn't subtract itself, it divides itself. It partitions itself. It gives off percentages to people. We are a percentage of the universe. a percentage of consciousness. Shared consciousness X divides its consciousness into avatars. But when you die, when death, they just get their percentage back. And sleep is just a whole nother thing, bro. So these are all divisions of X. So let's rewrite the formula. We now know that X equals, let me make sure you guys can see, X, which is SC, same thing. X equals, we divide by consciousness, okay? So X equals, let's say we have C, but we divide C. C is divided into X. C is divided into X, which means we will divide by C. We will divide by C. We will divide by C. Because we want to divide C into X. So to divide C into X, we want to multiply X by C. We want to divide X by C.